Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:01 p.m.
I'm a minute late, sorry.
No problem.
Again, thank you guys for joining me today. I will be reading a book called Jonah and the Very Big Fish. Today is Friday.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, stop. She wants to listen to the books too. Jonah and the Very Big Fish. Fridays are my inspirational days, so I chose this book today. I have a nephew named Jonah, and so I dedicate this book to him. Jonah and the Very Big Fish. This is the story of a young man named Jonah. Not sure if you can see it. I might have to turn off this light. That better? Good. This is a story of a young man named Jonah. Jonah had a very special relationship with God. One day, God asked Jonah to go visit a city named Nineveh. The people of Nineveh were living in sin, and God wanted them to live in love. Jonah did not want to do as God wished, so he ran away. As he ran away from God, Jonah came to a port city. There were ships. They were big, huge ships. Jonah boarded one of the ships and he headed to sea. Not long after, Jonah went below deck and he fell asleep. He fell into a deep sleep. While Jonah was asleep, a storm grew out at sea, and the violence of the storm made everyone afraid. While the sailors were crying out for help, the captain noticed that Jonah was still sleeping. "How can you sleep?" asked the captain. "Call out to your God, and perhaps he will save us." After some time, the sailors decided the storm was Jonah's fault. They thought he had upset his God. "What should we do to calm the seas?" they asked. Jonah replied, "I worship the one true Lord, and I have upset him. Throw me in the sea, and it will become calm." The sailors did not want to do this to Jonah. They tried hard to row for land, but it did not work. Finally, they realized it was their only hope. So guess what they did? They threw Jonah overboard. God saw all that was happening, so he sent a very big fish to save Jonah. When Jonah was thrown overboard, the very big fish swallowed him down into its belly. Jonah spent the next 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. While Jonah was in there, he realized he had been wrong to question God's wishes. Jonah was grateful to God for saving him, and he also called out to God, praising him and saying, "Salvation comes from the Lord." When the Lord heard Jonah's prayers and praise for him, the Lord commanded the fish to spit Jonah back out onto dry land where he would be safe. After his wild adventures inside that very big fish, Jonah obeyed the Lord's wishes. He went to the city of Nineveh and taught them to live in God's love. Everyone listened, even the king of Nineveh, and so the city was saved. Jonah saw that God had saved the city, and it affected him in a funny way. Jonah was angry. He thought that since the people of Nineveh had been living in sin, they should be punished. But instead, they had been saved. He left the city to rest and think. The next day, God spoke to Jonah again. He explained to Jonah that he cared for his people and he wanted them to live in his love. God explained that helping his people turn to what is right was most important to him. That day, Jonah learned a great lesson of mercy and forgiveness, learned how to forgive. Just as God had shown Jonah mercy at sea, he had also shown mercy to the people of Nineveh, and Jonah had helped him do that. What a wonderful book. This book, it says 5-minute Bible stories, and it's illustrated by Dania M. I don't know who the writer is. It says Flower Pot Press. But Jonah and the Very Big Fish was a very good book on this Friday. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in on Monday. I won't be here over the weekend, but I will be back Monday. See you then.